Everybody should understand JSON at least a little bit. JSON is just a structure. It stands for JavaScript Object Notation. It came out in the late 90s as a simpler, lightweight format. And at the time, the format XML was super prominent. This is what XML looks like. If you've ever seen an RSS feed, you've seen this before. HTML actually is an extension of XML. JSON is fairly simple. It's an interchange format. And if you ever want to work with APIs, send information in or out, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to work with JSON. This is what it looks like here. It's really straightforward. Usually you've got objects and arrays. This is starting a new object with 3 keys. ID, value, pop-up. Pop-up has a nested object, and then this has a nested array, which has several objects. And the cool thing about JSON, just like all other formats, is you can turn them into other formats if you want to. I saw a creator on TikTok the other day talking about this cool extension for VS Code that'll help you visualize your JSON, give you an idea what the shape looks like. There's even lots of command line tools out there. JQ is probably one of the most common ones, so I can have a look at this file and even interact with this JQ. But probably one of the coolest things about JSON is you can actually make your ChatGPTs, your custom assistants, return JSON so that if you're working with something like make.com or Zapier, then you can get a lot more bang for your buck out of your automations that way. So for instance, here I'm building a custom chatbot, and I want this to return a couple of different things in my conversation instead of having to hit ChatGPT multiple times. All right, we're going to give this a friendly name. So we've got some instructions. You're a friendly chatbot, so on and so forth. If you ever think that the end user needs to talk to a human, then change the needs assistance field to true. Responses go in the field response. So now we need to go down and change our response format for the custom assistant from text to JSON schema. And we'll just grab an example response here, jump over to ChatGPT. I need a JSON schema for my custom OpenAI assistant. The output should have 2 fields, response and needs assistance. Here's an example schema. We'll take what ChatGPT generated, spit it back over in here. That looks good. Now, one thing about using the JSON schema in the response, we've got to be using a GPT-4o, the 806 model or newer in order for this to work. Now that we've got that, we can create our assistant. Now back over in make.com, I've got my custom scenario set up here. I'm going to message an assistant in my account. I'm going to message my friendly chatbot assistant. We'll just use the user role. I've got a message set up in my first node here. And now when we have a look at the output, we can see that we've got JSON back directly from our GPT assistant. And now in our scenario, we can use the parse JSON module and take the result directly from our assistant so that we can access that in the rest of our scenario. And in that way, we can set up our OpenAI assistants so that we can get multiple values back with the same response. Instead of having to hit ChatGPT multiple times to get multiple values, we can pack 2 or 3 or several values into a single response in our scenarios and make them a lot more effective that way.